Yes.
Okay, we will call our meeting to order. We do it a little bit different here with reorganization night, but we start the same. So for those who are able, if you could join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have two spotlights on education. The first of which is titled Intermediate School Bench Buddies, and looks like Mr. Minarchik is here to lead us through that, so you're up.
My name is Troy Minarchik. I'm the school counselor in this building here, and I brought a couple of our students in our 4th grade leadership team, and they are going to present on you about our buddy bench. So go ahead, guys.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Bryant, and I'm in Mrs. Montana's 4th grade classroom. Good evening, school board members, staff, and families. We are proud to be a part of the leadership group at the intermediate school. Leadership students work together to help make our school a safe, respectful, and welcoming place for everyone. We try to set a positive example for other students through kindness, teamwork, and responsibility.
I'm Mary, and I am in Mrs. Montana's 4th grade class. One of the projects we worked on this year was creating a buddy bench video. The buddy bench is a place students can sit if they are feeling lonely, need a friend, or are looking for someone to play with during recess. We wanted students to better understand the purpose of the buddy bench and how it can help others feel included.
In this video, we demonstrated what students should do if they see someone sitting on the buddy bench. We show how important it is to invite others to play, start a conversation, or simply just make friends with someone. The goal of this video was to remind students that everyone can help make recess more welcoming and fun for all.
Here's the video.
Today I want to talk about something on our playground called the buddy bench.
The buddy bench is a place you can sit if you are looking for someone to play with. It is not a timeout spot. It is not for getting in trouble.
Using the buddy bench shows the warrior way of being respectful.
It means you are respecting yourself by asking for help and respecting others by giving them a chance to.
If you see someone on the buddy bench, being respectful means you don't ignore them, you notice them and include them.
It also shows we are being responsible.
If you feel left out, it is your responsibility to use the buddy bench or ask to join the game.
If you see someone there, it's your responsibility to help them.
The buddy bench also helps people on our playground feel safe.
Safe means everyone feels like they belong and no one is left out or alone.
When we include others, we help create a safe and welcoming recess for everyone.
So remember, the buddy bench is one way we live, a real way.
At our school, we take care of each other, and that's what warriors do.
That was like.
Do you have any questions for us?
Where did you share the video?
We shared it to all the teachers in our building on the news program that we run. And we also it was also on Facebook just for the community to see as well. So all the students have seen it.
Fantastic.
How often is the buddy bench used?
You guys can answer that one.
It's usually used, well,
Like, kind of sometimes.
probably often, and it's really improved since we made this video.
Yeah.
I like the video. It's very good. You guys are creating a nice space for everybody to feel included at recess, and that's important. Way to go, girls.
on education are innovative mini grant presentations, and we begin at the elementary school with the 4K Forest. We have Trish Myers, Darla Hughes, and Kylie Black has a question mark next to her. I think we know where she is.
Enjoying some baby snuggles.
Yes.
So over the last couple of years, the 4K team has really dabbled in going to the school forest and kind of utilizing a forest school program. This year we decided to go all in with help of Megan, applying for the mini grant and then some donations to the Angel Fund. We were able to enhance the program, and we've spent a lot of time over there this year.
The reason we decided to go all in is because there are many benefits to outdoor learning that we've highlighted here on our screen. It improves focus and attention, it reduces stress and supports emotional well-being, it encourages physical activity, and it fosters a lifelong learning of learning in nature. And then when we were thinking about the program, we decided to focus, our vision was 3 goals. And our first goal is we wanted to create an engaging outdoor learning experience that inspires curiosity, creativity, and encourages movement and environmental stewardship. Another goal, we wanted to ensure that every child has access to our school forest by minimizing barriers related to weather and to safety, which allows all students to take part in meaningful play-based learning. And our third goal was we want to provide consistent outdoor learning opportunities in a safe environment that supports the whole child's academic, social, emotional, and physical development.
So early on in the year, we met with a teacher in Luck that does a forest school day every single year. And so she kind of gave us some advice on what we should think about with the money that we had. So the first thing that we bought was safety vests, and you can see in the picture they're super cute, and it's perfect because we can kind of extend their boundary when we're out there and still see them and keep track of them. We bought rain suits so that when we pick a day and it's bad weather, we can still go. And we're super lucky because not only our team, but the paras that work with us also enjoy being outside, and so it really is a great thing. We bought a storage rack, of course. And then Annie, right at the library, bought some wagons that we can check out. And they've been used a lot for the forest school day that the whole elementary went to our day. And today the kindergartners took them to the forest so we can carry our water bottles and supplies and things that we need.
Why this matters, this investment will ensure that all students have access to meaningful outdoor learning in all types of weather. It reduces barriers for families by providing the gear and the support needed for safe outdoor play. And then it allows us to say yes more when it's raining, snowing, when there's mud, and when there's sunshine, while keeping the students safe.
So I'm sure if you've been on campus and watched the school forest, you can see our bright vests, and we wear them as well, so that's awesome. And then, like I said before, we can extend the boundary. So we kind of really worked this year in talking about how far away from us we can go and what we're going to do out there, and they're super awesome at listening to that. And so the vests just extend the boundaries, and they can be more independent and kind of do their own little research out there. That's it. Yeah, so thank you.
Really nice.
All right, next up is the IS title team playing stand-in for Mrs. Kaiser, and Maddie Haynes is Jessica D'Ambrosio.
Yes, neither of them are able to be here tonight, so they did write up a statement, so I will share what our mini grant provided for them. So this is again from Maddie Haynes, our school counselor here, along with Mr. M, and then Mrs. Kaiser, who is our lead Title I teacher here at the intermediate school. So they have written, we are incredibly grateful to have been selected as recipients of the 2026 mini grant for the intermediate school. The funding allowed us to purchase high-interest novel sets for academic, social, emotional learning literature circles that occurred during our wing time for students in grades 3 through 5. Through these literature circles, the goal was for students to be able to engage in meaningful discussions around empathy, perspective taking, and decision making, while also strengthening important literacy skills such as comprehension, vocabulary, and collaborative discussions. The books have helped create opportunities for students to connect with characters and situations in ways that encourage both academic growth and social emotional growth. In total, we were able to purchase 18 titles and 136 new books. We would like to say thank you to Annie Brighton, who helped us pick out some of the book selections and some of the purchasing process. To the Board of Education and Dr. Derfler, we want to say thank you for investing in our students. This mini grant has provided resources that will continue to positively impact our students for years to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ambrosio. Okay, and with the best title, we have a middle school presentation for mini grant, Beef, It's What's for Dinner, Kirsten Condor.
Okay, so my name is Kirsten Condor and I'm the middle school and high school agricultural and technology education teacher. And I was fortunate enough to receive funds from all of you this year for the beef in the class, well, for doing beef in the classroom, I guess. So not only, I kind of did 2 grants for this so that they could kind of pair together well. So we got the mini grant from you for $600, but then I also filled out a Wisconsin beef in the classroom grant where we brought in $200, and that was for us to be able to purchase the beef to put into this program as well. So they kind of bridged together. So what I did is within the 7th grade curriculum right now, we're teaching about animal science within the agricultural context, and they're learning about the different, well, first they're learning about companion animals, but then within this unit, it's a 2-day unit, they're learning about different cuts of beef. So we talk about the wholesale cuts and then the retail cuts that come from those. And then we're also teaching them about what, when they go to the store, it's about prime, choice, and select. So I want our students to be able to confidently go to the store, be able to look at those products and say, okay, if I'm paying $30 for a piece of prime meat, why am I doing that versus paying $18 for a piece of choice meat? So we're really digging into that and then comparing and contrasting meats. And then what we also do too is we take pieces of sirloin meat and we marinate those and make beef jerky out of that. And then we're also taking ground beef, and usually it's like 85-15 or 90-10 for the fat to meat ratio, and then we're mixing in seasonings and then making beef sticks with that. So our students get to not only, with the products that we actually got with the grant money, we got some 2 dehydrators with that. We also got some jerky guns, we got the jerky seasonings, and then all of the utensils to be able to make this happen for our students. But we do have a little gift for you today. We had our students make some beef jerky today, so we decided to make you some little mini charcuterie boards to go along with that.
Gosh dang, you got cutting boards and charcuterie boards. That $200 didn't get you real far in the old beef purchase.
But it made a difference. I love filling out grants. It's like one of my favorite things to do, and I really feel like every single drop in the bucket makes a difference. So even if it's $200, and even with this mini grant, it makes a real big difference.
For sure. Just the buying power of beef is
right. Yeah, it's not profitable, right?
Well, go beef farmers, making some money.
Yes.
Can you talk about what are the mini grants? Where does that come from?
The mini grants comes from the district office and the administrative team. We put out an application process in the fall. Staff put their in essence their proposal in for a mini grant, $600. By October 31st, we tend to pick 1 per building and 1 for our people services team. And typically we get lucky and there's about 1 for each, and we give them that money to do this something new activity, and they come here and pay and present. And we've been doing this back 10, 12 years, maybe more. It's been some of the best activities we've ever had in the school district of Amery.
Really, every year is like super creative and different grants every year for what teachers come up with, and y'all are just the most creative people on the face of the earth, so it's fun to watch this. And did you get to make jerky today?
Were you one of my taste testers today?
Smart girl, better job.
Taste tester today too.
One of the things with the mini grant too is that we encourage, it should be something that, like, these dehydrators can be used for years and the guns can be used for years. So it's like coming up with a new idea that you will continue on.
Yeah, for sure. Love it.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay, our next presentation comes from the high school. This is glaze mixing, and the presenter is Isabella Osterbauer.
Alright, hi, I am Isabella Osterbauer. I am the art education teacher at the high school, one of 2. And with this grant project, I was hoping to improve kind of like the ceramics experience. We cover a lot of different media of art, but I have a fairly expert level experience when it comes to ceramics. And so I was able to step into the studio and take a look around of like, what are the things that I learned that changed my experience with clay, and how do I bring that into this classroom, and kind of bridge that gap towards that college level experience. And one of the main problems that our students were facing was that they had a bit of a limited selection when it came to glazes, and a lot of disappointments with those glazes and how their projects were turning out. And so I proposed that we purchase some new ceramic glazes and buy some different safety equipment to make sure that we could do this within the classroom and like have a nice outside day, but still make sure that like you're not breathing in all of that powder, because it's not good for you to do that. And then we created different glaze test tiles. They're a little bit small, but if you're interested in peeking, we create like a little divot on the side so that you can see how the glaze would flow over a textured surface. And these are actually layered opposite. So we have speckled cream on top of blue ice here, and then the opposite on this tile. It's a way to kind of show the students how you can layer and interact and experiment with these glazes, and to come at it with an opportunity for excitement and not necessarily that disappointment of it had to be like this because that's what the test tile said, and just a little bit more accuracy. So I tried to mind map and make this as organized as possible so they could just enjoy the experience and not kind of get lost along the way. So I made templates for all of the test tiles, and each student was in charge of 2. And we ran that for 2 class periods just to have enough, because you kind of have to like cross-reference the 2 different glazes to see how they interact. And then we got everybody together and we had a full day of test tile glazing. And these were just a handful of the results. I had way too many to take with me, and it would have clanked a bit. But here are our blue ice test tiles now. There are 2 others, Caribbean green and green ash as well. So not only did they learn test tiles and how they interact with each other and the colors and all of that fun stuff, they also learned the consistency that you need to have glaze at in order to get the results that you're looking for. Too thick would mean that the glaze runs everywhere, and too thin means that it burns off. And so we had those more in-depth conversations that we normally kind of glaze over. But yeah, they had a lot of fun, maybe not cleaning all of the backs of the test tiles, but they were able to kind of bring in a new life and energy into the ceramics glazing part, not just the making. So our impact is that our students are more engaged and excited about ceramics than they were before, and I was able to lay some groundwork that Stephanie can build off in the future in terms of increasing any future glazes, and that process is a little bit more organized so that she can bring in maybe pinks and purples next year. Overall, this grant process has helped to create more interactive and educational ceramic experience, and the glaze combinations and test tiles will continue to benefit all of our future students as well. So huge thanks to all of you in creating that opportunity.
That's a huge undertaking to do something like that. And I just remember from my school days, because I am not an arts person, I can't even draw a stick person.
Yes.
So my problem was that the glaze, once it was on the pot, never was the same color that was in the bottle.
Absolutely.
It was really bad. Now these kids have all these test tiles and they can make their own and see how that all interacts. What a fabulous idea.
Thank you.
And good science involved in that. What a fabulous idea.
I tried to like touch into it without losing them too much. Just about like that there's a lot of science that can go into all of this. and have just a few different variables creates a completely different color.
You just don't want to have that glazed over look. Or too far, too far. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, she needed a round of applause for sitting through that awful jump camp.
All right, our last mini grant presentation comes from the world of pupil services, adapted trike, and our presenter is Tucker Hovde.
Good evening, school board members, school administration, teachers, parents, community members, and anyone joining us online. My name is Tucker Hovde and I am a special ed teacher at Lean Elementary School. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and to share my gratitude and thanks for the grant money that was approved by the Amery Board of Education. The grant has allowed us at the elementary level to purchase a 3-wheel bike for a student supported by an IEP. The expectation is for the student to first demonstrate safe behavior in school and get the work completed in each class on a daily basis. If both the safe body is used and the work gets completed, the bike is able to be used as a reward during each designated recess. We have seen an increase this year in positive-based behavior as a result, and it holds the student to high expectations. As you know, our special ed students are an important part of the school district and make up nearly 18% of the student population. Many times, special education teams have to think outside the box on how best to support students that receive special ed services. It takes an IEP team to brainstorm good ideas, understand the needs of each student, and establish a process that creates a thoughtful and caring community. One must remember that growth comes in a variety of different forms, but should always be celebrated, no matter the quantity of it. An important piece of special education is to build positive relationships with students, set goals that are individualized, hold students to high expectations, and work collaboratively with other staff to create meaningful learning. All of these factors have to take place in order for students to show progress. To close, thank you for allowing the elementary special ed team to be one of the grant recipients. It has meant so much to the elementary special ed team and to the special ed population it serves. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this evening and truly look forward to further partnering with this governing board to support our students of promise. I will leave you with a short quote that reads, "Every child has a different learning style and pace. Each child is unique, not only capable of learning, but also capable of succeeding." That quote was by Robert John Mahan. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you very much.
Now, the next portion of our meeting will not be as exciting as the mini grant presentations. We are reorganizing our board this evening. That's what happens every single May. We'll run the meeting until we have a president in place. So, here we go. Tonight, we will reorganize the School District of Amery Board of Education. The school board election was held in early April, and newly elected board member Steve Osro was sworn in at the regular board meeting in April. The first order of business is to appoint a teller. I'm going to appoint Becky Schmidt as a teller for this reorganization session. Next, we need to appoint a board president. Do we have a motion for board president?
I make a motion for Charlotte.
Are there any other nominations for board president? Are there any other nominations for board president? And one last time, are there any other nominations for board president? Hearing no further nominations, do we have a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Char Glenna as board president?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Those in favor of Char Glenna serving as board president, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The motion carries. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to Board President Char Glenn.
First, I'd like to say thank you for that nomination and your continued support as for me and your belief in me as the president of the board. I don't do much more other than lead the meeting, so obviously you feel very capable of my skills to lead the meeting, so I thank you for that tonight. And with that, I will take a nomination for vice president.
I nominate Steve Osro.
It's been nominated for Steve Osro to serve as vice president. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for vice president? Any other nominations for vice president? Hearing no further nominations for vice president, I would entertain a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Steve Osro for vice president.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Steve Osro for vice president. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Nominations were closed. Steve Osro is now elected vice president. Moving on, I will take nominations for secretary.
I nominate Gwen Dado.
I shouldn't say secretary, I should say clerk. Are there any other nominations besides Gwen for clerk? Any other nominations for clerk? Any other nominations for clerk? Hearing no further nominations from the floor, I would entertain a motion to close nominations for clerk and cast a unanimous ballot for Gwen Dado for clerk. Steve, is there a second?
Second.
Larry, it's been properly moved and seconded to close nominations for clerk or cast unanimous ballot for Gwen Dado to serve as the clerk. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All of those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Gwen, you get another year at clerk.
Thank you.
Moving on to treasurer. Do we hear nominations for treasurer?
I nominate Larry.
Nomination for Larry for treasurer. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for treasurer? And are there any other nominations for treasurer? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to close nominations for treasurer and cast unanimous ballot for Larry.
So moved.
Gwen? Steve? All of those in favor of closing nominations and casting the unanimous ballot for Larry to serve as treasurer, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Larry, you're the treasurer. Another year, thank you. And we have the director left, and I would take nominations for director at this time.
I nominate April Zimmer.
Second.
It's been nominated for April to serve as the director, which makes sense because kind of at this point, is there any other nominations for director? Any other nominations for director? Any other nominations for director? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for April for director.
So moved.
Second.
Larry? Gwen? It's been properly moved and seconded to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for April Zimmer to serve as director. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. April, director again. Thank you. All right, that takes care of our elections for officers. Not much change this year. And off to the 2026-2027 board meeting schedule. And we have that in our folders. That is there any conflicts that anybody knows of ahead of time?
I'm gonna be gone in January. I'll be in Vegas again for work, but I can go online again like we did last time.
Okay. And then I would entertain a motion to then approve the Amery Board of Education 2026-2027 regular meeting dates.
I would move to accept the 2026-2027 Amery Board of Education regular meeting dates as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the 2026-2027 Amery Board of Education regular meeting dates as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. The regular meeting dates for the 2026-2027 Amery Board of Education is approved as presented. Next, moving on to the designation of official depositories for 2026-2027. Do I have a motion to approve the official depositories?
I'll make a motion to approve them as presented.
Steve, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Larry? It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the official depositories for the school district of Amery for the 26-27 school year. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of accepting the official depositories as presented for 26-27 for the Amery School District, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. The official depositories for Amery School District are accepted as presented. Authorization for use of Weld Riley legal services for the district. Obviously, Weld Riley has been providing legal services for the district. They're one of the few that provide that kind of service in the area. It's what we've been familiar with. Is there a motion to approve the authorization for use of Weld Riley for legal services for the district?
I would make that motion, yes.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the authorization for use of Weld Riley for legal services for the district moving forward for the 26-27 year. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the use of Weld Riley for our legal services, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. The district will continue to use Weld Riley for legal services. And then we have approval for an authorization for use of independent hearing officers for expulsion hearings held in 26-27. Hopefully we'll never have to use this. It has been standard that when we do need to have an expulsion hearing that we use a third party that comes in to help us navigate that process on the district's behalf. It would be prudent and proper to use a third party, and so that's something that we do every year. Is there a motion to authorize the use of an independent hearing officer for expulsion hearings held in 26-27?
So,
Steve, is there a second?
Second.
Gwen? It's been properly moved and seconded to authorize the use of an independent hearing officer for expulsion hearings that may have to be held in 26-27. Is there any discussion? Any questions? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of using the independent hearing officer for any expulsion hearings that may occur in 26-27, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Appointment of a CISA 11 delegate for our annual convention of school districts, and there is one coming up Monday, June 1st. Is that right? Do we have for our delegate? Is that right? We have one coming up June 1st. Okay.
does this also cover the one in Madison or Milwaukee?
It can. You can.
Doesn't
Yes.
have to be.
Doesn't
But
have to be.
typically it has been.
So this is pretty much just for this June meeting, is that right? Okay.
Yes, I think they do their board of control at that meeting and things like that. So
I guess I would ask, is there anybody here that's free and wants to go?
I could.
You're retired now, so that's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
I haven't been able to do a lot of those things, so I'm not retired, but we definitely not milking cows, so I can do that.
So I would nominate Shar for CIS-11 delegate.
I'd second that.
All right, all those in favor of Shaglana serving as the CIS 11 delegate, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those in opposed, please signify by saying no. I didn't think anybody was going to be too opposed to that. So, all right, motion passed. I'll be in Turtle Lake June 1st if you need me. So, and then a list of our board appointed committees. We have the 26-27 board appointed advisory committees with Steve and Larry serving on the building and grounds committee. April still on the community ed advisory committee. Curriculum oversight committee is Gwen, and then we have the finance oversight committee again with Steve and Larry, and that building and grounds committee is kind of weaning off, so your time will be probably more spent on the finance oversight. Human growth and development committee is myself. Outdoor education committee is on Gwen, and Steve on the technology committee. Is there any discussion about where we're at for committees? Does anybody want to move? Anybody want to give anything up? Can't have more than two, so.
Does building and grounds and finance and technology, if we're weaning off of one?
Yes, because the building and grounds will be, kind of phased off, and the finance oversight is, you'll be kind of jointly, that'll be kind of together, so.
Okay.
Should be fine.
And I'm good unless somebody else wants technology.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion for approving the board appointed advisory committee assignments for 26-27. Lynn, is there a second?
Second.
Larry's got that second. It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the 26-27 board appointed advisory committees as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the board-appointed advisory committees, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Okay, board-appointed advisory committees are passed and approved. And we are off to the consent agenda items with that. April, you had vouchers tonight, right?
I had vouchers and everything looked just fine, so I would move that we approve this month's vouchers.
And the rest of the consent agenda items, the agenda and financial reports and minutes, is that correct?
Yes, everything.
Sounds great. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda items as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda items, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. The consent agenda items are approved. And if it's okay with everybody, we have somebody here for recognition. Are they here?
The seniors.
Yeah. All right. Can we move up our, we have informational items that the admins don't mind waiting for a little bit. We have recognition from Arrowhead Officials Association here tonight to recognize.
Let the people sort of. Yeah. All right, everybody. I don't want to take up too much of your time here, but we just want to continue to celebrate our successes here that are unique at Amery School District, particularly for our table workers in our volleyball and in our basketball. And I'll just give a quick shout out to those individuals: Kate Weisenbeck, Rachel Hansen, Jessica Smith, Matt Pedersen, myself, Mark Peterson, Chuck Wellman, and Beth Pedersen. And I got those folks memorized because they do such a fantastic job. They show up every night for these events and they do an amazing job. And Mr. Pack here and the Arrowhead Officials Association is going to present us an award here. Do you mind showing them, I guess?
Yeah, no. First of all, Nick Pack, president of the Arrowhead Officials Association. And I'm glad you said those names because I got them, but I would probably said them wrong. So thank you for doing that. As an official, I want to say real quickly that a very important part of our role is having people that aren't really acknowledged a lot, whether it be table crew, stuff like that. And I do want to, if I'm allowed 10 seconds, to read an evaluation I got personally at a clinic I was at, a Division I clinic from an official who just got done reffing the Division I Women's Final Four last year, I think it was. So, his remarks were, Nick and his crew had a very ugly game. You don't want to hear that. On my court, many mistakes by the table. The crew handled the situation well, stayed on top of the issues the entire game. Despite having a poor table, they managed to pursue and get through the game. When we have pregame, before the meeting, we always talk about different things that might come up. Table is one of them. And sometimes I always hear, the table here is really good. And I always say, oh, we don't want that. Because as officials, sometimes then you take a step back and like don't even think about the clock, the table, all that stuff, how important role they have. Well, that's always the case here at Amery, is the table's really good, it's really good, and they continue to set that bar. So, anyway, the Arrowhead Officials Association, sorry, I'm not a public speaker, gets to vote on our best table crew of the year. And again, not the first time I've been here, probably not the last time I'll be here. And our thing is, you want the award, you beat them. I'd like to present Amery High School, Dylan, and his staff, and his crew with the best table, and we do appreciate it very much.
Now after listening to that, I'm not sure if the best table award is good or bad.
It is good. It is very good. Thank you very much. So,
Thank you for coming. We
you're
appreciate
right.
that. Very cool. Very nice. Okay, and then we'll go back on to the agenda order, and then that brings up our administrator committee department report. So
I'm gonna lead up, if you don't mind. Okay, I've got a statement here I'd like to read, take me about 4 or 5 minutes or so. Good evening. Over the past several months, the School District of Amery has undertaken a comprehensive financial restructuring process aimed at strengthening the district's long-term stability and success. This statement is intended to provide clarity regarding the district's financial position and outline the path forward as we continue working to ensure a strong future for our students, staff, and community. My hope this evening is to answer 5 questions regarding district finances. Question 1. Why does the district now face financial challenges? The district's current financial challenges came to light following the resignation of former Director of Finance John McBride in December of 2025. After his departure, district staff began reviewing the district's financial records. During that review, it became clear that the district's budget had not been properly reconciled. With the assistance of Baird Financial Services and CISA 11, our educational cooperative, the district began a detailed examination of financial records dating back to the fall of 2024. The review determined that district expenditures exceeded revenues by approximately $2 million during the 24-25 school year. This did not mean the district was $2 million in the hole. Rather, the district had exhausted its fund balance and no longer had sufficient reserves available for its financial needs. Due to the timing of state aid and local property tax payments, the reality of school finance in Wisconsin is that the district will likely need to continue to rely on short-term borrowing as part of normal operations. In order to address the district's cash needs, Mr. McBride had presented a series of short-term borrowings to the Board of Education in 2025. While those measures addressed immediate financial needs, they also created long-term financial obligations. At no point did Mr. McBride inform the Board of Education, district office staff, or financial institutions that the district was facing a structural budget issue. Both the Board of Education and district administration recognize they have responsibility for financial oversight. District leadership relied upon information provided by Mr. McBride regarding its fiscal stability. To improve financial oversight, the Board of Education has established a financial oversight committee. The committee's purpose is to strengthen financial review procedures, create clearer reporting practices, and increase accountability to both the board and the community. Local property tax payments received in January and February helped prevent immediate financial problems. Even so, the district adjusted its budget to address past due expenses, current obligations, future operating costs, and approximately $5 million in short-term borrowing obligations. In addition to these local issues, the district is part of a broader statewide school funding challenge. Wisconsin's public school funding system has not undergone significant reform in more than 4 years. Question 2. What has the district done in response to these financial challenges? In response to these challenges, the district has taken steps to stabilize its finances, strengthen oversight, and restore long-term fiscal accountability. The district office has reconciled the district's finances dating back to the beginning of the 2024-2025 school year. Through this process, the district now has an accurate understanding of its financial position. Throughout this time, the district has continued normal operations without interruption. All payroll obligations have been met, and now all district bills are being paid on time. The district has taken strategic financial actions to improve short-term cash flow stability. This includes adjusting the maturity dates of the district's short-term borrowing notes to better align with the district's annual revenue cycle. The district has also reduced the 2026-2027 budget by approximately $2.5 million. While these reductions were difficult, they were necessary to repay debt obligations and rebuild the district's fund balance. Finally, the district secured an operational loan to pay off existing short-term borrowing notes. This action provides the district with a more manageable financial structure as it continues working toward long-term financial stability. Question 3. Has there been any wrongdoing by any board member or school staff member? In January, district officials brought 2 charges that appeared to be personal expenses to Mr. McBride's attention, and repayment was received. In mid-March, the district identified another charge that involved the use of district funds for a personal expense. Over the past 2 months, the investigation has identified approximately 25 alleged fraudulent charges totaling roughly $25,000. That information has been provided to law enforcement. Some have suggested that a full forensic audit is needed. The district is considering that option and will follow the guidance of the law enforcement agency responsible for prosecuting this matter. The district will strongly consider a forensic audit if law enforcement recommends or directs one. As Director of Finance, Mr. McBride held a position of significant responsibility. The district relied on him to act in the best interests of students, taxpayers, and the community. The district fears that Mr. McBride failed to do so. Question 4. What is the district's current financial position? Despite the recent financial challenges, the district's current financial position is stable and improving. At the conclusion of the 25-26 school year, the district projects a fund balance of more than $3 million, and that fund balance will exceed $5 million at the end of the 27-28 school year. The district is moving toward long-term financial stability. The district has already repaid $3.5 million in short-term borrowing obligations. District leadership now has a clear and accurate understanding of district finances. Importantly, the district has implemented meaningful budget reductions while continuing to provide high-quality educational opportunities for students. The financial adjustments made were substantial enough not only to stabilize district finances, but also to allow the district to increase compensation for all employee groups. The district remains committed to attracting and retaining high-quality staff to support student success. Question 5. What are the next steps? The district's highest priority remains providing the best possible education for students. The district is committed to being a stronger steward of taxpayer dollars. Improved financial reconciliation procedures, stronger oversight practices, and increased accountability measures have already been implemented to ensure district finances are accurately monitored and reported. As part of the upcoming budget cycle, the district will prepare and present a preliminary budget in July. Annual tax settlement payments will be received in August, and the annual audit for the 2025-2026 fiscal year will begin during July and August. The Board of Education is expected to approve a 26-27 budget in September. The district plans to repay the remaining $1.5 million in short-term borrowing obligations before their maturity date in October. The district will continue working with CISA 11 on day-to-day operations and Air Financial Services on long-term financial planning efforts. In addition, the district will evaluate whether additional expenditure reductions will be necessary for the 2027-2028 school year. The school district of Amery believes it is on a stronger financial path forward, one built on a continued commitment to providing exceptional educational opportunities for students and families in the Amery community. Thank you. Mr. Gould, you're up.
Well, last month I told you the next time I see you, you'd be done with graduation, and it's been a crazy last month. All of our state assessments are complete. We had fine arts night. We've had prom. We had senior awards night. We had our senior picnic, senior walk, graduation, AP testing done. And I'm also happy to report all the buildings in the district have completed their state drills, safety, fire, and tornado. Future events. Next week, we're partnering with the Amery Police Department. They're coming in, talking to our kids about social media safety and bullying. We did something with the seniors earlier on in the year, but we saw this as an opportunity to partner with local police on some things going on with their kids to keep them safe as they move into the summer. We've got our WI Spring Sports Tournaments coming just around the corner, and we have our Underclassmen Awards Day on June 4th with our 9th through 11th graders.
And that's just for the kids on May 28th, right? That's like in school.
In school, yep.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, at the middle school, we celebrated our Genius Hour Expo on Friday, May 8th, and we had 314 students presenting on all kinds of things. It was a really fun event, and I got a chance to go around and watch and take in about 30 or 40 of the different presentations. They're long, I mean, they go really in depth, so it's hard to get to every one of them, but I've seen a lot of them too throughout the year as they're getting ready, but it was really fun, and they get real excited to present their items. And you talked that we have from fire truck safety equipment down to quantum physics to animals, you name it. The kids were there presenting, and it was really fun.
Lots of food this year.
There was
lots
a
of food this year.
lot of food. That was very creative. Yeah. Our 8th grade UTM was held right after that. That's sort of our 8th grade graduation event for them, and that was fun. Memorial Day Parade, our students will be marching in the Memorial Day Parade. They marched down to the cemetery, and then they help with the presentation for Memorial Day. We have a really nice Memorial Day program to honor our veterans and things here, and I'm really proud that our students have been involved in that for 40, 50 years. And I think there's a lot of kids maybe until they're in band haven't necessarily been to one, and it's important. So I was really glad they were there. Following up on that, on May 26th, right after Memorial Day, we're celebrating America's 250th year. District-wide, we're all doing that together. Obviously, that doesn't actually happen until July 4th, but we won't be in school, so we decided that we're going to do one the day after Memorial Day, and we have all kinds of different events, from announcements to presentations, videos, discussions.
Even our kitchen staff.
Even the kitchen staff's involved, so we're kids are wearing red, white, blue, and we're gonna celebrate America and the importance of that specific date, but we're doing it on the 26th. But I'm happy for that. Our last day of school is coming up June 4th. Summer school starts June 15th, and then the middle school is marching in parades on June 20th and June 27th, one in Clayton and one in Clear Lake. And that's been kind of their consistent introduction to marching for those kids.
Don't underestimate the importance of the food ladies getting involved, their kitchen staff getting involved. That's important for celebrations.
Yeah, it's a district-wide effort to honor America, so it's cool.
Really cool. You know, I have to say, it just jogged my memory when you have the 8th grade youth jam here that one of the young ladies who spoke at graduation the other day mentioned in her speech the 8th grade kind of graduation dance culmination youth jam. So it must be a lasting impression on those kids.
I guess so.
So 4 years later, there she was at graduation day talking about it. It was kind of cool.
Can you dance with your new knee?
I'm just happy to walk with my.
To be honest, it doesn't look much different than it did before.
Just like it. When you hit 60, that happens.
All right, thanks, Don. Just.
All right, good evening. Intermediate school recently completed our walkathon, so that is a fundraiser that we do here, and we actually do this annually. I inherited it from Orly Shock when she was here, and we use that event to collect funds to purchase playground equipment, and so we survey our kids on what would they like to see added to the playground, and so this year's funds are going to be used for something called a P6 court, which is kind of a combination of volleyball and foursquare in my mind. Kids are really excited about it, so I want to thank our community members and our families for supporting that. Kids always get excited when they have input in what will keep them busy. 5th grade concert, we had that just a couple weeks ago. That is our band and our general music, so that's the only one here at the intermediate school where it's both band and music, and so the theme was rock and roll, and that was really, really fun to see. April's Sun was a little hit up there as well.
Imagine, yeah.
So they did a really, really great job. It was a highlight. Even Elvis came across the stage, so I want to thank our music teachers, so Mrs. Moskal and Mrs. Sunderland for that. 5th grade Math Masters, so Mrs. Curtis and Mrs. Help, 2 5th grade teachers here, they work with our 5th grade students in math, and so they provide extended learning opportunities for students that really excel in math. So they work with them for several months, building their math skills on higher level concepts, and then they actually go to a contest in Hammond where a group of them perform at a contest and see how they rate amongst other students. So our school did very well this year as well, which we always do. Grade level visit, so something that's really important is our 2nd graders will be coming over to visit. They haven't quite yet, but they are scheduled either later this week or next week, where they will come over and they will meet with our 3rd grade teachers. So I will give them a tour of the building, we do a slideshow, I introduce them to all the staff here, just trying to get them comfortable and help them. It is a really big transition to come here in the fall. They get to visit our playground, see the library, makerspace, a little bit of everything, and again, get to meet all of our staff. I also invite our 2nd grade parents to come use our playground this summer. So anytime that their kids can spend here will hopefully help make them feel a little bit comfortable. And then our 3rd and 4th graders actually do a meet and greet with our teachers as well. So the level above them, they will sit down in our classroom neighborhoods and they will get to ask them questions and ask questions about what does 4th grade look like, what does 5th grade look like. So this has been a tradition we've been doing for about 4 years now, just to make sure that these are familiar faces to the kids, and we find that it helps with the big grade level move that'll happen in the fall. 5th grade band festival, so Mrs. Sunderland and Mrs. Curtis took our entire 5th grade band, which is most of our 5th graders actually, to Unity where they have a celebration. So in the morning they get to play as a whole group, and then they actually get some instruction and some guidance on playing different instruments, and so that's always well received. It's a full day of planning, but really appreciated by our 5th graders. Earth Day program, so this is an annual event, so the Amery Women's Club comes, and this is actually something I inherited, so I know they've been coming for a very long time. They meet with each individual class, they read a book that has to do with Earth Day, and then they do some fun, engaging activities with kids, and so these women come and they give us a lot of their day. They stay in between, and it's greatly appreciated how much time they give us, so that's a fun event that we look forward to in the spring, so I want to thank them as well. And then finally, the kinship celebration. So our high school students come here. I see them, and I'm sure Megan does as well. Almost every day. Kids come once a week, so we see high schoolers coming in, spending time with our students, whether that be lunch or playing a game or going out to recess with their class. And so that happens all year long. And then Amy Danielson of Polk County Kinship does a really great job of having a celebration. And so they recently just celebrated that with a party here, where they had some treats, and the bigs and the littles all got to spend time together. And then any graduating senior got to be able to say goodbye to their kinship. So it's a wonderful program for us. Curriculum instruction, so Angel Fund purchases, so we are very thankful for our Angel Funds that we get donated to the district. This year, just as we've done for the last 2 years, we are purchasing summer workbooks for our Title I students. So any student that is in Title I receives those services, had the option to opt in for a free summer workbook, and that workbook focuses on math and ELA. We decided to do that a couple years ago just to make sure that any family that would need that resource isn't facing a barrier to purchasing one. We facilitate that. I believe we had 37 elementary students and 39 intermediate students that took advantage, and so they've received a free summer workbook to help promote their learning and hopefully prevent any learning loss that would happen. As Tom shared, all of our buildings will be celebrating America's 250th birthday, so that's actually in accordance with Act 95, and each building is doing a little bit different. Act 20 summer school instruction, so per Act 20, we need to provide intense academic intervention in the area of reading. And so our Title I teachers currently, that team is building what that schedule will look like. So that actually will happen during summer school. We'll just be pulling students out to provide Title I services during regular summer school. And then finally, Tom and myself and Carol Holden, we will be reporting to the state on Act 20. So that will include how many students started with the personalized reading plans, how many students exited with the personalized reading plans, and then how many students required early diagnostic assessment based on the results from Amy's web. So we do have to report that to the state. We plan to do it today. We weren't able to, so we actually plan to do it tomorrow. So we'll be able to finish that and submit that to the state. It's not due until the end of June. We like to get things off our list, so we'll take care of that tomorrow.
Would you provide us with that update as well next month after you report it to the state, of course?
Absolutely.
So when you get that done, would you report that back?
Absolutely. Upcoming events, I'm sure just like every other building, we have a ton going on. May 20th, so this Wednesday, we have our track and field day. As the Title I coordinator, we have decided that we will have our annual parent meeting in between the elementary and intermediate track and field days, which has worked well in the past. We were trying to catch parents while they're here, and we'll be doing a root year float for that. No school on the 25th. We have our culminating 5th grade Camp Waffle field trip, so that will be for our 5th graders on the 27th and 28th. Our IPO is extremely generous, and they actually provide a fun day for our students here. So our IPO fun day will happen on June 3rd, and then we will say goodbye to our students on June 4th.
The 5th grade waffle trip also got a call out by the young lady that held out to be 8th grade. Just, you know, y'all are famous, yeah.
All right, the elementary school. Breakfast Buddies was a new family engagement opportunity, which was a collaborative effort between our school nutrition program and our LPO. A huge success. We decided to spread it between 2 mornings, where it's essentially what it is we invite families in to come have breakfast with their littles. See our wonderful breakfast nutrition program. Our kitchen staff wanted to showcase what they got, and they sure did impress. We had over 185 participants come during those 2 mornings. Just put it out there to see what happened, and so successful. Michelle and her team said, can we do this again? In fact, do you want to do this twice a year? I'm like, okay, well, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, we want to do this. So they're literally hungry for more, and we'll keep it going next year.
You did there.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's a very punny night tonight, I love it.
We're gonna keep going. Here comes another pun, but I can't claim this one, but we had a special day in the forest as well, which was on May 1st, but this was created by the specials team. It was a wonderful day. So our music, art, physical education, library, and school counseling team created a collaborative event out at the school for us. So what they did is they combined their hour block, invited every single grade level out there, and they provided specials class in the forest that day. So from storytelling and campfires and charades around with a ukulele around a campfire to nature stamps and coloring pictures to actual storytelling with Annie Brayton by the creek with then a collaborative art build with the 3 little pigs with sticks to see can you actually make it so the wolf, which was a leaf blower dressed up as an actual wolf. Oh yes, the detail is amazing. The kids absolutely loved it. The specials team was ecstatic saying, can we do one of these every single season? I'm like, I am not gonna get in your way. In fact, what do you need? Like, so it's truly incredible to see teams just get creative, get collaborative, and create wonderful opportunities for kids. So huge shout out to that team. They didn't have to do that, but they truly go above and beyond any moment they can to collaborate and create wonderful opportunities for kids. The 4K team, which is also sitting right here, which is pretty cool, 4K orientation was a true hit and truly amazing. We had over 65 families come in the middle of the workday to learn what it's going to be like for their incoming little warriors coming in to start their journey. One of the things that was really unique, and a huge shout out to Amanda Warner, Annie Brayton, and Jessica Woodcott for creating a video which captures the day in the life of a 4Ker, as said by our current 4K kids. So you can only imagine how cute and sweet that is. But it essentially puts any young parent goes, what is 4K? We didn't have it around when I went through, what actually is it? So it's a video that captures how do you even drop your kid off? How does my kid get here? What's this even look like? To all the way to the end of the day. And then they interview kids asking, what's your favorite part about 4K? And so it's truly amazing. The video is actually linked. They have access to the video, right, Becky? I linked it in my notes.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to watch it, it's about 8 minutes of pure cuteness and joy there. Another shout out comes to the 2nd grade team for continuing the aardvark tradition of Arthur's Club. When I went down to Ellie's, I guess it's been 20 years that they've been going down to Ellie's and enjoying ice cream at the Sugar Bowl. But this crew, even though it's a smaller crew, read over 1,600 books in the span of just a month and got to see the Arthur Quiz Bowl in action as well after the Sugar Bowl. Arthur Knowledge was great, and the Phone a Friend Lifeline was interesting to see them go, oh yeah, I can use this and ask people for help, which was quite fun. And then capturing off all the fun, the Montessori Show and Share. If nobody's ever been to that event, it's magical. Seeing these students who put their heart and soul into things that truly they are excited about, and it is completely student-driven, student-led that they create at school is just breathtaking. So it's an evening where families come in and these kids present. So they stand there and they present and they've got their 7 facts and they stand there in confidence because they know their stuff. You're talking like the pyramids of Giza. You're talking the life cycles of a bullfrog. You're talking the solar systems. These are 1st graders, guys. Like, you want to understand multiplication tables? Here they are. They'll just tell you and it's like, you're 6. Okay. Tell me more about things I myself don't know. But it's truly incredible to see these kids share in confidence, and it's remarkable. So shout out to that team of teachers to build confidence in children, to be able to answer questions from adults in real moments. Coming up, I'm impressed that you did a walkathon because I feel like May's a marathon as we get ready for track and field day. I'm excited because we're including 4K in track and field, which has never really been a part of it before, but Ms. Halverson over there is pretty excited to bring 4K in, and in her first time at it, she's like, why not? Let's see what happens. We've got 2nd grade going on some field trips, kindergarten going on a field trip. We are doing National Hamburger Day for the end of the year picnic. 1st grade's going on a field trip, 4K's going on a field trip. We've got our volunteers, the individuals who've been spending the entire year with us volunteering their time. I believe we're at 14 people who have continually come in week after week. We're going to be honoring them on campus with us last day and then in service day.
a marathon that you're sprinting the whole month of May. I expect no less from Ms. Halverson, after 4Ks in there. And I sense this recurring theme with food, this National Hamburger Day. Tell me more. I want to join.
We're serving hot dogs.
I too
Not
like
hamburgers.
hamburgers. Very cool. I like that picnic. I didn't get invited to the senior one, but so I'm gonna have to go hang out with the.
Always looking for chaperones.
Sounds great. All right.
So this end of the year is a time where I meet with our outside providers. We have outside providers for our physical therapy and our occupational therapy that come in and support our students who have that's part of the services in their IEP. We did this last year. I met with them. It's always remarkable to see what they think of our students and our staff, and it's always really good reports. Last year we made some big changes in our OT department, and I would say myself and our special ed teams are pretty happy with the changes that we made. So we have some really good partnerships with our therapists in our community that really do well supporting our students. So that was always good to meet with them at the end of the year here. And then part of the end of the year for students supported by an IEP who are graduating is that you have to have a final IEP meeting, a graduation IEP meeting. It's kind of just putting the bow and the ribbons on all the services that they had, making sure we had filled some documents that they can take with them to whatever their next step in life is. Kind of gives them a snapshot of the supports they need. It's one of my favorite meetings to have with students because we talk about advice from the team members and we wish them best and give them advice. It's always heartwarming and it's one of my favorites. So I've got to enjoy those the last month. So some good seniors graduate this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, those are so important too. Whatever they're going into next, they're super important, and you've done a lot of great work there. And I know I had a student benefit. One of my own children was a direct beneficiary of that, and it served him well to go to tech school. This is a kid I didn't think was going to make it out of kindergarten, so. I mean, it's okay he did it twice, but he went to tech school, and that served him invaluable. So it was a great thing you guys do. And what a shout out to all of our volunteers that we have. They really make, especially in our lower grades, but boy, they sure make a huge difference in our district, and just thanks a lot for all of our volunteers. And thank you for recognizing them in that way, so that's awesome.
You're welcome to come that day if you want. I'll send you an invite.
All right, thank you. Are there gonna be hamburgers?
Probably muffins in the morning.
Cake? I don't know. Okay. Sounds good. I like muffins too. All right. We have nothing for committee reports. I think you guys meet later this week.
We meet tomorrow. Building and grounds meets tomorrow.
Building and grounds meets tomorrow. So we'll look forward to hearing that the next time we get together. And we've already done the recognition from the Arrowhead Officials Association. And that was a welcome, another nice plaque to add to the trophy case. So thank you for that. And then that brings us off to the first reading of Board Policy 751-1, security cameras on school buses.
Okay, this is a mandate of us that we don't have in policy at present, and we're gonna put it in policy. Though in practice, we sort of already do have the requirements met. So, it's short, so I'll read it to you. The board authorizes the district to install and operate video and audio surveillance on district buses to enhance student safety and well-being. The district will notify parents/students that video and audio recordings may occur. Signs noting surveillance will be mounted in buses. Recordings are strictly confidential and may only be used by school officials and law enforcement for investigations, school discipline, and criminal prosecutions related to incidents in or around the bus. Only the transportation director, bus drivers, school principals, and district administrator shall be authorized to view bus surveillance. Principals and district administrator may authorize other staff to view bus surveillance. The transportation director shall determine the placement of video cameras. The monitoring system shall not be used to monitor driver behavior except to help school staff correct student behaviors. And this is a first reading. You'll see it again in June. If you have questions, I'd be happy to try and help.
Any questions on the policy this time? All right, we'll be seeing that then come back in June. Thank you. Then we can go off to our action items, and that brings us to the liability and insurance renewals with Cleve Holmes, thank you very much for being patient, and it didn't move you up, but, you know, it wasn't much, so thank you.
Some years might get even closer. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. It seems like 12 months goes by in a big hurry. The school district's property and casualty insurance renews every year on July 1st. And if you recall, the prior 2 years I've been here, I've had some difficult news to deliver to the board, but not this year. Still is a big number, but the pain of large property insurance rate increases has settled down. The market still is a little bit in turmoil, but the massive increases that we've had to talk about the last 2 years has settled down. And the deductible situation hasn't improved dramatically, but it hasn't gotten worse. So things have settled down, they have flattened a great deal. I believe in your packet you got a summary sheet that our agency put together. I'm kind of a bottom number guy to start with, so instead of reporting large increases, I'd like to go to the very bottom right-hand corner. Overall, we're down about $1,000 this year, instead of being up $15,000 or $20,000 or $22,000. So the first bit of good news is we're not up. We're not down a lot, but we're at least down. The largest portion of your insurance package is with an insurance company called EMC, who I would say is the preferred insurance vendor, not only in Wisconsin, but in the Midwest. Last year, EMC's premium for the school district, including the work comp insurance, was about $356,000. Like I said, we don't take that number lightly. It's a very large number. This year, we're up about $1,500 to $357,000. We had some changes within the EMC numbers. We have some increased coverage on the buildings because we're on a replacement cost basis, so we did get something for that $1,500. As you know, the district had some budget cuts, so our payrolls are down. We're down to about $12.2 million, so our work comp premium has been affected by that. But the other bit of good news I'd like to report tonight, the school district's experience modification, so it's kind of a profitability index of how we do with work comp claims. We still got some work to do, but last year we were at a 1.61 mod. Now the state of Wisconsin sets this. It's a complicated formula of how many dollars of medical claims, how many dollars of lost wage claims, how many claims. There's a lot of information that goes into this calculation, but last year we were at 1.61. This year we're down to 1.45. So that's a 16% reduction in cost just in that factor.
That's a huge jump.
So between the payroll reduction and the improvement in the experience modification, we made a lot of headway in the work comp area, and that's what really allowed us to say we have a flat renewal this year with EMC from last year to this year. The other three smaller policies below the EMC, cyber insurance is very important to a school district. We're going to recommend a change in company this year from where they come up with these names, I do not know, but Cowbell. We're going to go to a very well-respected company called The Travelers. We're going to save a few dollars there, but Travelers is providing really, really good service right now. So we're going to propose a change in that policy effective January 1st. Storage tank liability, that's Ryan's area. We got to make sure our fuel tanks don't leak, so we're up a few $100s there. And I've heard wonderful things about our volunteers. We like to protect our volunteers in case they get hurt, so we've got a small volunteer accident policy that just doesn't seem to change from year to year. So if you add all that up, we're looking at $374,500 last year. We're looking at $373,600 this year, so like I said, we're about $1,000 down. I tried to figure out that percentage, I did, but it's way less than 1% down, so basically flat, which in this marketplace, I think is very good news.
And the travelers, cyber is the policy and the coverage comparable to cowbell? Is it the same, better? Where are we looking at there?
At least comparable. I'm gonna meet with Sean and the other IT folks. We have to fill out an application or two, but like I said, the broker that we work with, Tricor Insurance, they insure well over 150 schools, so we're not the only school that's migrating from cowbell to traveler, so it will be at least equivalent, and it wouldn't be a bit surprised if we don't pick up a perk or two.
Because it's certainly relevant in today's society of what's happening out there.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
What's the inflation guard, or the number that happens on the buildings?
Steve, I believe it's always fallen between 4% and 6%, so I'm gonna lean closer to 6% just because of the cost of materials and labor is still very expensive.
And how often are we re-looking at that to do the reevaluation to make sure that inflation doesn't get outside of the norm?
The buildings, I won't say are rebuilt on paper every single year, but at least one or two buildings every year, they come back with us with suggestions to increase coverage. On one of the sheets that was in your packet, the property insurance on just the building, so the 4 schools, the bus garage, and then the multitudes of other small structures. Last year, we had a little over $104 million of coverage, and because of that inflation protection, I mentioned we got a little extra for the $1,500. We gained another $5 million in coverage, so we're up to $109 million. Now, is that the right number? We don't know until something happens.
Right.
But we're blanketed, so each school kind of sits on its own, but if the high school is destroyed and that particular amount of insurance isn't enough, we can steal from the other 3 schools. So I mean, we've got an abundance of flexibility.
I just know that that's a piece that can get out of hand if we're not watching it. So that we're watching it is great.
Yeah, and I would say in years past, that inflation guard was probably a little low, so we've been making up for lost time. But yeah, we're not trying to inflate these building numbers at all, and we're still a little concerned making sure we're where we need to be. Other questions?
Jim, is the experience mod under workman's compensation, is that on a 3-year rolling average?
It is. It's a 3-year calculation, and I have not looked at the calculation in a bit, but what we're seeing in the school's performance, we probably had one large claim or a few claims. That 3rd year probably fell off, so that's why we went down 16 points. So if we can have future success in the next few years with nothing major, then yes, another bad year will fall off. Obviously, we want to get to 1.00. That's buying $1 worth of insurance for $1. But the Amery School District has been below 1. We want to get back to the 0.90, 0.85 days, so you can get a 10% discount or a 15% discount rather than, in this case for this year, a 45-cent surcharge.
If my memory serves me right, I think we had 3 that were substantial. 1 fell off this year. I think we have 2 remaining, and those I think are due to fall off next year.
Yeah, that'd be good news.
Yeah. And our office receives quarterly loss runs from Tricor Insurance, and we forward those to the district office for all claims, but specifically for the work comp, so we can see what claims are closed, what claims are open, you know, financial information on how those claims are going. So that's how we keep our finger on those types of claims.
I smiled bringing you up here tonight, because last year I was brutal.
2 years were brutal.
Yes, the last 2 years were brutal. I think last year was worse.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Leadholm? I'd entertain a motion to approve the liability insurance renewals as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Steve, is there a second?
Second.
Gwen, has been properly moved and seconded to accept the liability insurance renewals as presented by Mr. Leadholm here this evening. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the insurance liability renewal as presented, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion approved. The liability insurance has been renewed. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Our agency really appreciates our relationship in your business over these last many, many years. So again, thank you.
Thanks for bringing us a red number tonight.
I'll do my best for next year.
All right, we'll hold you to it.
Okay, good night.
Night. Okay, and we're back with Dylan again. We've seen familiar face tonight, WIAA membership renewal. I can't believe we're here again already. It seems like we just did this.
I know, it's crazy. The annual renewal for the WIAA has come up here again for us, and I figured we'd just get taken care of as sooner rather than later. Every August, the renewal is due for all schools that wish to participate in any form of athletics. If we want to play any sport at all against any other school, we have to be a part of the WIAA. They help coordinate some officials, tournament series, and help with a laundry list of other things. And so what I'm coming here with you folks for today is approval for us to renew our membership with the WIAA.
Sure you still want to be part of it?
I am, yes. Yep, let's play ball.
All right, just wanted to make sure.
Good.
A lot of hot button issues there in the old WIAA as of late in our hockey. I would assume that the hockey people have a lot to say about this whole competitive situation. So
yeah, there's some pros and cons to it. I think there's been, there was with the competitive balance equation that we were looking for over the past few years. Obviously, we have some more data to collect over these next few years how it plays out. But if you're an Amery hockey fan person going from D2 to D1, it's a little frustrating. So yeah, right.
Like
so,
what? Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, we'll keep moving forward and keep getting on the ice and on the field and courts and playing like warriors.
All right.
With your approval, anyway.
Is there?
I don't have to jump the gun, but
You're a little optimistic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I will make a motion that we approve membership into the WIAA.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the WIAA membership renewal for the sports listed. Is there any discussion? I would like to remind everyone, board members, that we are then subject to the WIAA membership rules and what they say. We don't have a lot of latitude when it comes to deciding things. Moving forward, that's up to the WIAA. When you decide to be part of the membership, you also then make the commitment to follow their rules and regulations. So just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of renewing the WIAA membership for 26-27 year, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Part of the WIAA membership for another year.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys.
I think we have some track stars that are going to be real happy about that. We see some state championships coming our way, I think. And then we're off to the second reading of Board Policy 346, Student Assessments with Ms. D'Ambrosio.
All right, well, wonderful. As you shared, this is the second reading of this board policy. As I shared last month, and the first reading is just we are up for universal monitoring, so making sure that our board policies are up to date and relevant. So this policy outlines how the district measures and supports student learning through ongoing assessments in all subject areas. So this means upon enrollment and then annually thereafter, students will be assessed using a variety of measures that include classroom performances, teacher observation, standardized testing, as well as portfolios. So each year, the superintendent and the director of curriculum and instruction will come to you as the board and share with you what our local and state assessments are. This ensures that assessments are administered properly, that student records are stored accurately and protected, and then parents are informed about testing. Finally, all students are expected to participate in required assessments along with accommodations, those protected by an IEP and a 504, but it also highlights that parents may opt their child out of certain state assessments and then local assessments as well, just by submitting written documentation to a building principal to inform them of that.
Much has changed since the first reading there. Is there a motion to approve the board policy 346 student assessments as presented?
So moved.
Gwen, is there a second?
Second.
Steve, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve board policy 346 student assessments. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the policy 346 student assessments, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Board policy 346 is approved and accepted. And Mr. Gould, after the, we're going somewhere.
Yeah, looking for approval for 2 years from now, or 22 months from now, to take our foreign language trip to the east coast of Spain, southern France, and northern Italy, similar to a couple trips we've done the past 2 times. It's been a great experience, and basically we're looking at a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these kids, what we're trying to provide. And they pick up the vast majority of the tab themselves. The only thing that we cover is out of my budget. I pay for a bus to take them to the airport on their departure day. But the rest all the families cover, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience.
I will make a motion that we approve the foreign language student trip, March 13th through the 21st, 2028.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the 2028 student trip, March 13th to the 21st, off to some great lands. Is there any discussion?
Do we only do these trips every other year?
It takes that long to pay for them.
I'm sure it does.
Well, it used to be back in the day, right? Every other year France, every other year the Spanish trip, and now it's been combined. And so they go every other year.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. And everybody got home this year on time, and yeah.
Oh, you lost a luggage or 2, I think, but it was good.
Did we ever get it back?
I have no idea, it wasn't my concern.
Okay. Literally not my problem. All right, so with that, then is there any more discussion about the 2028 student trip? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the foreign language trips, March 13th to the 2020 to the 21st in 2028. I just can't even believe that we're saying that already. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Go forth and conquer. All right, off to math curriculum order for grades 6 through 12. Mrs. D'Ambrosio, back again. A lot of familiar faces presenting tonight. You're gonna run out of air here pretty soon, Jess.
So we have a curriculum cycle of every 7 years. We find it very important that we stay relevant and have a rigorous curriculum in front of our students. So every 7 years, a new department is up for curriculum cycle. So this past year, I worked closely with the middle and the high school math team to assess the needs, look at data, and even pilot several different curriculums to land on what is a really great fit, what's going to meet our academic needs of our students, and what is a great resource to promote growth of all kids. So what's before you right now is just our curriculum oversight committee. So a step in the process is that we have a curriculum oversight committee. I am the chair of that. So after we go through the rigorous process of vetting materials, getting quotes, piloting the program, we then bring this recommendation to the curriculum oversight committee. Gwen was a part of a recent meeting that we had. We walked through the recommendations from the high school and middle school math departments. Next steps upon your approval would be materials would be ordered after July 1st. They would be inventoried. We would then send them to each building, and then we would ensure that professional development is ongoing. If this is approved tonight, we actually already have professional development scheduled for the middle and high school that would take place this summer once materials are received, so we can get going on them utilizing the resource and becoming familiar with it. So the next slide in front of you is the recommendations that are coming from the middle school. Middle school currently owns Connected Math. CMP is what it's called for short. The manufacturer is Lab Aids, is the curriculum company, and then as a supplemental resource, we are requesting Math IXL. So again, CMP is something that's currently being used. Obviously, math scores would highlight that it's working very well. Our middle school teachers are all trained in it, so it's a very familiar tool for them. I will say they did a great job vetting other resources just in case this didn't continue to be a good fit, but ultimately we landed on this is a really great program for our kids. The supplemental and intervention is IXL, so that's a computer-based program where students would go in, they'll take an initial test. It's aligned with Wisconsin state standards, and then as they move through the program, it's computer adaptive, so as a student is learning and growing, it will continue to challenge them and meet their needs. So it's a very personalized individual tool. So this is a good balance of in-person on paper as well as a digital tool to push each kid for their own growth. The price point of each of these is before you. We worked really hard to get these prices to where they were. Again, this is a 7-year cycle. So a 7-year cycle includes consumables, if the program has consumables, as well as a digital seat. And so this ensures that every student that passes through the middle school, same will be said for the high school, and it has a digital seat, so this encompasses every student that will move through. So we're guaranteed, 2,100 seats as students move through. So this is the middle school recommendation.
And that is the 7-year number?
Mm-hmm. That is the 7-year number for both curriculums.
So roughly 10 years.
Is that an outlay of cash right away, or is that over?
It is right away.
And so then is it capitalized?
What do you mean by that?
Do we spread it out to hit the financial burden?
We don't, because we have a curriculum cycle come due every single year. Next year, we have a K-5 math, and we have an applied arts. So every year in the budget, we have $140,000 for curriculum, and as you'll see here, the number is about $140,000.
Okay.
So looking next at the high school, so worked with them a lot, piloted Amplified Desmos. They piloted that multiple times throughout the year. Initially went into it just as a pilot, ended up they really liked it. So we had full access to the program, and with the blessing of Amplify, they were able to mix that in throughout the year in all upper and lower level math classes, which it was a really good fit. So the recommendation for their core tier 1 curriculum is Amplified Desmos Math. And then 2 recommendations for supplemental and intervention. So Delta Math Solutions is a program that they do use, they currently do, so it's actually just a renewal where all of the teachers at the high school teaching math have utilized this to come up with different assessments and reteaches as well as WIN. And then Mathematic as well. What was really big focus is starting WIN at the high school has taken a lot of time and energy really digging into the data of what's needed. But a whole nother layer of that is what tool is there. Prior to starting intervention in WIN this year, they really had their core curriculums and that was it. And so what we really learned is that there's core curriculums and they're really good at what they do, and then there's intervention and supplemental tools. And so I'm really excited. They were really on board. They dug really deep into what was going to work. And so I'm really excited that they have intervention tools that they feel good about and they're behind. Amplify, the core curriculum, usually has individualized learning. We wanted to ensure that there was universal assessments, and then a great added bonus of Amplify is it has a really intense response to intervention, which is exactly what we need right now to meet the needs of our students. So looking at those, this is the price point for all 3. Again, core curriculum is Amplify, then 2 supplemental of Delta and Mathematic, and that would bring the high school in at a little over $67,000. So in total, as Sean shared, our total budget is $140,000. We work really hard, even down to the shipping cost. I get them down from 12% to 7%. We go back and forth for quite a while. We were able to land at $148,638.34. Did you guys have any questions for me on any of the resources or how they're going to be used within the classrooms?
Jess, could you mention for a moment steps of which people have seen this? You go through your curriculum committees, your curriculum oversight, just to mention what that process looks like.
So we do spend the entire year vetting it. I'm sure in August when I email the next group that's up, they're probably groaning at an email getting sent in August. I just want them to make sure that they have enough time. So our timeline is always that we start looking into resources right away, August, September, and October. They know that I want them to be piloting resources by October, November, December. We're meeting multiple times in vertical PLCs, so that'd be, your math teachers. So we're meeting in vertical PLCs to talk about how the piloting went, the pluses, the minuses. We meet multiple times with the vendors, multiple times with both middle and high school. We would sit down and we would Zoom with different vendors, so much so that we even met with Eau Claire School District earlier this fall. They were using a program that we were considering. So we spend a lot of time in the fall with teachers getting used to it, piloting it. They're asking kids how they feel about it. Is it user friendly? What's the technology component? So after it goes to the vertical PLC teams, I will bring it to the admin team. It then goes to curriculum oversight committee as well. It has to be approved before we move to here. Technology is a big piece of that. We want to make sure that the digital resources are protecting our students' data. Lonnie and Annie are big parts of that, as well as Greta, and we make sure that any online components will sync up, will sync up with whatever program we need. So syncs with our Clever or our SIS program, however it's being brought into the school district. So final steps, we'll be bringing it here to you.
We've taken a little longer piloting this program and deciding on this math curriculum as well, did we not?
Yeah, I know at the middle school, the two, actually, it's kind of strange, it came down to CMP and CPM. Believe it or not, those are the two main ones.
Make sure you get the right one.
Yeah. and it's meeting with, it's not just looking at which program we like the best, but it's also meeting with their, vetting out the costs and everything, and where it's coming in. We have been with CMP for 25 years or longer, but like I said, we've had consistently the highest math scores in the state, so we're going to, I told the committee, I said, we better see something just amazing to go away from it, because we've had a massive success because of the way it's taught, and we're really happy with it. We were in a program called Math Excel, which instead of IXL, so it talked about how and we went away from that to math. Well, first of all, they weren't going to renew it anymore. It was kind of going away, so we had to find a new one. But what we like with IXL is that it's also going to replace a program called MobiMac. So there's another program that's not shown here that's going to save about $1,000 a year that we're going to cut for the next 7 years. So the costs are going to probably be right at the budget that we were.
And a big part of it too is looking at data. At the high school level, we looked a lot at the different strands of math, right? It's not, K-5 math is easier because it's every classroom is going to be using the same resource, right? All third grade teachers are going to have the same teacher curriculum. At the high school, it's different, right? We have pre-algebra, algebra, geometry, stats. I mean, we really had to dig into, are all of them being met? At one point, we considered, do we need a different resource for each course? Amplify meets all of those. Desmos is a way of teaching math, actually. So Amplify is the curriculum. Desmos is how it's taught. And so we really looked into the data of each of the courses. We looked into the intervention tools. What was really important with both of these is there are some, and this kind of blows my mind as a curriculum director, is there's some curriculums out there that don't contain assessments. And so we as a team sat down and said it's really important that whatever resource we pick has assessments, so we know what our kids know, and that it has intervention tools. So any student that's lagging behind, we can take that time to close those gaps. In both buildings, really good win and intervention model, so we need to make sure that we have the time and space, but we also have the tools to give the kids what they need to make sure that they're growing. We know on a state report card that what's important and outcomes for kids is that each kid is growing, and so how do we do that is by assessing and by intervention kids. So I feel good about both, and I think the teachers feel really good about both. They had a big voice in it as well, and I'm really confident in what we bring you tonight for you to consider.
Wendy, around the committee, what do you got?
Well, a big thank you, of course, to Jessica, the principals, and to all the teachers, because I was so super impressed sitting there in the curriculum meeting, how the teachers were able to explain the curriculum to those of us that weren't sitting in their classroom, and the benefits it had for our students. And of course, that's a big thing that we always want to progress our students forward. And I think the math teachers, I don't know, they were just like a big cheerleader for this program, and we're so excited about it. And so personally, I was just like thrilled, wanted to sit in on it and see some of the behind the scenes work that took place. Thank you, it's a lot. And yeah, yay. I love math and I was impressed with what they have to say.
Well, K-5 math is up next year, Gwen, so we'll do this all over together.
That would probably not go so well for me, but we'll see. That K-5 stuff is tough. I think it's funny that you say that.
I love that. That K-5 stuff is
Too easy for you.
I'm excited.
I love it.
We have amazing teachers. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
at the high school, we feel good at the direction of kind of helping there and,
I'm just excited to have my math department back.
yeah,
Haven't had that in 5 years. We
Yeah.
rotated 2 teachers out every year for 5 years. So
yeah, we're
That's
excited too. Yeah, that's gonna go in a great direction there for you. And, if they're on board, that sounds good, so. Do I have a motion to approve the grade 6 through 12 math curriculum?
I would so move that, yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Alright, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the math curriculum order for grades 6 through 12 as presented. Is there any further discussion? Go math. Go math. Alright, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the curriculum purchase for math grades 6 through 12 as presented, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Alright, we're gonna go buy some math curriculum and set up your training. Thank you very much for all the hard work.
Thank you.
Okay, Lonnie's been skulking by the door and waiting patiently for us for a long time now, so Lonnie, you're up for a stacked laptop.
Alright, current needs right now, our current totals of laptops we currently own are 176 during our last purchase that we made. We're reducing that number down to 136, so what we're trying to do is order new laptops for the 26-27 school year going forward. The time frame for these will be about 3 to 4 years for these to last. Our current systems are running Windows 11. They were purchased in 2022. So we're getting long in the tooth, and the requirements have far surpassed what we're currently operating. We're looking to get 16-inch Dell or 16-inch laptops. We've settled on the Dell Pro 16s. Dell, because they have been extraordinary partners in cost and in financing. So far they've been able to come in about $200 cheaper than any other vendor, and have, our payments for the leasing is about, on average, $1,000 to $2,000 as well. They offer the 3-year lease on those, and those will be 3 to 5 year leases. And as you can see, we're at, they offer both monthly and annual payments. If we go monthly, it's significantly more expensive, and the annual payments are a lot. $53,000 for a 3-year, $41,842 for the 4th year, and $34,111 if we go with for the 5-year. And those are all have the 3-year warranty. So if we do purchase these and do the long-term lease, that warranty will not cover it during that period. So I would not recommend doing that. Got 3 leasing options that we had brought up. One from Dex Capital, and for the 3-year yearly amount, it was $55,000 compared to the $51,000, and for Vantage Financial was $55,000. So it is significantly cheaper. Any questions?
So what are you looking for from us? Do we have to
We're
choose a
looking-
year, or do you add on a year as you know how they're holding up, or how does it work?
I try to plan out for 3 years. If we can get more than that out there, we do. I do not lock in on a new purchase date. If we can assess them going forward and are capable of meeting our needs, I'll hang on to them. Current versions that we currently have, as I was saying, have 8 gigs of RAM. Requirements for Windows 11 is 16 gigs of RAM. Those devices are still functional. Our counts have gone down since we purchased them due to device failure, and hardware failure, and battery failure. But those devices still can be used going forward by consolidating hardware for other devices.
So what you're charged with tonight is to approve whether we're purchasing laptops. Lonnie and I would work together and determine whether it's 3 or 4 years. Please note that we only have one bid here, but we saw other bids. Dell was the only outfit that would bid. The others simply didn't choose to.
Yeah, and I'm on that technology committee, and we've got people from every building on that committee, and there was just an awful lot of talk about failures, right? So we have to do something. We're running out of time on the current equipment we have. So I would make a motion that we approve the purchase of the laptops as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the purchase of the laptops as presented. Is there further discussion? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the purchase of staff laptops at 136 laptops at the price of $1,144.39 per device, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Thanks for waiting so patiently. Very short presentation. You know how to sell it, Lonnie. Thank you. All right, and then off to the big one of staff salary increases that we discussed in our last meeting.
Okay, we have 4 employee groups. We have support staff, clubhouse staff, certified staff, and administrative staff. The item you see on the screen are the support staff groups. You will see their titles there: custodial, school nutrition, paraeducator, van driver, and that second column is secretary, and then on the far right is your information about bus driver. The black font crossed off is existing wage. The yellow font, and it looks like in the background red, are the new numbers. This would be a new scale, which would start for support staff folks after the 1st of July. And there are a few other things in the bus driver that also were altered in regards to sub-driver pay and meal reimbursement and so forth. And I'm not sure if you want to take these one at a time or all at once, but that's what the support staff scale looks like. And I'll let you tell me what you want to do, how you want to handle it.
In my opinion, I think that the board has seen and has kind of pulled apart both or all of the subcategories of staff. I'm making some assumptions here, but I'm not sure that we would act on one or two and not on others. So I think we could take them all together. Is that a safe assumption?
Do I need to see?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I
We can't take them all together. However, you could take them all except for the one.
we could. Is that what you would like to do?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'd also like to state, this was tabled last time because of obviously the financial situation, what we have discussed tonight, and the fact that we were looking for the information coming back from Jim on the renewal. So I appreciate that. So I'm glad we're bringing it back up for discussion.
And honestly, your issue that you are going to have here would be the support staff portion. So we could take a motion there first, and then we could lump the rest together if that's okay with the rest of the board. That's okay. That's fine. Nobody else has to abstain for anything else. So, is there a motion? What say you for support staff? Compensation and benefits. Are we looking at take a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve salary increases for support staff.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the support staff increases as presented in the board packet.
It might make sense at this time to put up on the screen what that price point impact is, and Becky has that as a slide. So the support staff scale increase, the natural growth, meaning you're at level D now, you're going to become level E. And then the salary increase, the scale increase, meaning the scale moved forward, is $102,941. That will never be exact because your employee group will never remain the same. There's always people coming and going in all of these categories. So that would be the price point going in. So,
as part of that discussion, I also agree that, there was a great amount of work that went into, deciding what this would look like. We had this presented at our last regular board meeting. I think it was beneficial to have the, special meeting that we had, a couple weeks ago, last week, I guess, with Baird to see what that, financial impact looked like and what our budget forecast looked like. I had a dollar number in my mind that I needed to see on that presentation before being willing to move ahead with the salary increases that we saw here. We've hit that in my goal, but I'm certainly not going to ask the rest of the board to have that same goal as I do. But I thought that there was a lot of meaningful work that went into preparing this presentation and an option that we could keep moving forward with our existing staff in a meaningful way. Any further discussion on support staff increase? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor then of approving the support staff increase as presented, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. And Steve will be abstaining from the vote. For the record. Motion passed. Support staff salary increases are approved. And then we could take clubhouse, childcare, certified staff and administrative staff.
okay, well, the second scale there you see on the left margin of the screen, again, yellow crossed off, or white, black, yellow, whatever. Black crossed off is the existing wage, yellow is the proposed new wage, and you saw on that previous screen what that total number of dollars is, and this is again for clubhouse childcare. The certified staff compensation scale, red crossed off existing wage, yellow is salary increase. We have had a lot of conversation about what to do with the salary scale, and the work that we will set about to do in the fall, and the we is not just administration, but working with our advisory committee of certified staff, is to look at this scale itself, the structure of it, and how you move through it. And that's gonna be what we're gonna hit the ground running in September. A couple of points of emphasis is does it take too long to get from the beginning to the end? Are you able to accrue enough PDH, professional development hours, to get where you need to be based on the logistics of doing so? And are the numbers where they need to be in regards to being a competitive employer? So those are all conversations for the fall. That's where we left off a couple of weeks, actually it was last week when we talked last. So that's the salary compensation scale for the certified staff. There isn't a compensation scale for administrative team, it's simply a gross number of dollars. And please note in that administrative team, district team, and I'll speak in exact numbers, the present rate of pay for the director of finance in the school district of Amery is $82,000 a year. That would probably put that position in the bottom 10 district director of finance people in the entire state of Wisconsin. So that's been pushed forward to put us in the middle of the pack. The middle of the pack is about 110. So of that 56, almost half of it is from one position, moving that forward. So those are your numbers. 423 is the total. The Baird Financial Services presentation last week, the budget number that was put in there for budget calculation was actually 500,000. So this is less than that. And we came out in good shape with 500, so this would also be a number that we would come out in good shape if we used these numbers. Again, none of these will ever be exact because there's always people coming and going, but that's where it is right now.
Sean, do you know how many people make up the administrative team, district team?
Well, the administrative team are these folks here, plus all of the supervisors, so transportation with Ryan, buildings with George, school nutrition with Michelle, Lonnie with IT.
17 or 18 altogether?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Good question.
I entertain a motion then to move ahead with approving the salary increases for clubhouse certified staff and administrative staff as presented.
I'll make that.
Steve, is there a second?
Second.
Larry, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the salary increases for the remaining groups of people as presented. Is there any discussion? I do want to note that obviously we've had a lot of talk in the last couple of months vigorously about our budget and about what that looks like. Obviously, we had a statement read tonight about what those things look like. We've seen a lot of talk from the community. We had community comments at our last meeting that were valued and taken into consideration and not taken lightly. I've also seen that, and I've had some people reach out to me personally and ask if we considered just cutting pay for, not moving forward administrative staff. And since I've had those conversations with people individually, I think it's worth noting here for the public and the rest of the board members that my answer to those people have been that the administrative team is truly merit-based pay. I mean, all of our administrative team really does have an extended amount of education, an extended amount of time and commitment, extended amount of extra duties that they provide to the district. And looking at this $56,650 impact here, still doesn't equal to the 1.75 million that we ended up having to right-size the budget in other ways. This also provides a meaningful raise somewhat to the rest of our staff who remain and that we hope to retain because we have great educators. And if we don't do something, I don't know how we are going to retain those staff members, and I don't know how we're going to attract other staff members, and I don't know what the incentive would be to continue your education forward, as it's a great investment that you make in your own dollars. The district provides very little reimbursement for your master's degrees, your PhDs, all of your continuing education other than in the form of professional development hours. And moving forward on that salary scale. That being said, I don't think that any of this decision, given where we're at with our budget or where we're at, is taken lightly to move ahead. And I also want to thank the staff that met with April and myself at a staff listening session. And our staff was very gracious, I think, in what their asking was this year. I've sat on that committee for probably the last 6 years now, and I think our staff realizes that they also want some meaningful compensation, and I'm hoping that this helps move that goalpost a little bit more in that direction of favorability, that we can retain and keep attracting really good people, because we've seen some really good outcomes, and I think tonight we've seen a lot of good presentations from the kids, a lot of good presentations from our teachers, and how creative and innovative they are, and it means a lot to the district, and it means a lot to the outcomes for our kiddos that come out of here, and all of those meaningful experiences that we heard about from young people on graduation day. So I hope that what we do here tonight can help with that. It's not been taken lightly. Is there any more discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the salary increases as presented for certified clubhouse, bus drivers and administrative team, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. Staff salary increases have been approved. And then moving on to the approval of the 26-27 open enrollment applications.
All right, we as a district are obligated to approve the ins and the outs of open enrollment. On the left in green, you see the open enrollment ins. You'll see the grades in the resident district, i.e. where they're coming from. On the right, you see open enrollment outs in red, and grade in the destination district for where they're going. And if you look towards the bottom of the page, you'll notice that the red is bigger than the green, and yes, it is a financial impact, and yes, you see a trend here at the bottom of New Richmond. We have talked to folks about open enrollment out and why New Richmond is that place of destination. What they have shared with us is it's purely logistical. In most cases, they work that direction, so they drop their kids on their way to work. They may live in the Alden Township, say for instance, Star Prairie, and they're on their way to Anderson Window, and they drop their son, daughter, or both off in the New Richmond School District, and on their way back home, they pick them up in the New Richmond School District and arrive home, rather than at a half hour of time at the beginning of the day and a half hour at the end of the day. On a good day, they put that time back in the bank. That's what they've shared with us. And most of the rest are simply our neighbors, and for whatever reason, that's the direction they're choosing to go. So you would need to make a motion to approve the ins and the outs for open enrollment.
Sean, could you explain, it says, quantity 18 received, 13 eligible, what's the difference between?
I think the way that this is crafted, and I might actually have to have help from our audience member, Aaron Osro, the 18 received are the applications that have received, 13 are eligible to actually make that jump from there to here.
Abby could speak to this as well, it's due to our space limitations for.
Okay, so I'm with you now, I understand what you're putting there for title. So the district each and every year by law has to put in place space limitations for students supported with an IEP. If you're a student coming from name your other district to here and you have a child that has a student supported by an IEP, and if we don't have space for them, they may be eligible, but we have to turn them away because we simply don't have space for them. If they live here, then obviously they can attend here whether or not the student has been supported by an IEP. That's the difference. And that's a mandate by law for us to establish what those criteria are. Thank you, Abby, and thank you, Aaron.
Does that mean you had 13 of the 18, or?
We had to turn away 5.
individual?
That means we had to turn away 5.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how it is.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the open enrollment applications in and out of the district.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the open enrollment applications in and out of the district. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of approving the open enrollment applications in and out, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. The approval for open enrollment applications has been approved. And off to donations and grants.
Okay, donations and grants. Fuel Up to Play 60 program. Thank you for selecting Amery Middle School as the recipient of a school wellness smoothie making kit, an immersion blender, food safe buckets, field trip milk bags, and a new cart, value of $2,000. Operation Roundup. Thank you for the grant of $808 for the high school student council to purchase a new popcorn machine for the concession stand. That's from the Polk County Electric Co-op. Again, from the Polk County Electric Co-op. Thank you for the grant of $1,000 for the Amery School Forest to purchase educational signs for the property. And again, Polk County Electric Co-op, thank you for the $1,500 grant for the Ag Department. It will be used to purchase fencing to contain goats in the school forest as they help eradicate buckthorn.
Nobody's happier about that than Mr. Myers, since we're not gonna have to be out chasing goats this year.
Marines for Toys for Tots Foundation, thank you for the grant to purchase over 700 new books for the elementary and intermediate school libraries. Can't wait to get these books in the hands of our readers. Mark and Jake Ullman, thank you for your donation of boulders for the landscaping project in front of Lean Elementary School from Shoreline and Landscaping Specialists, and many thanks for your generosity and support.
Can I expand on that one?
Yes, you can.
I wanted to also offer and say a huge thanks to the Amery softball program in its entirety for doing some blood, sweat, a little bit of tears, and some parental guidance on Saturday morning. That program helped in droves and numbers. They came in at 6:45 and helped get that project completed. What we did is we made sure that there was actually a weed barrier down because the professional landscaping crew that came in for the referendum did not actually install a weed barrier in all of those landscaping beds. So we went and rectified that wrong with the help of the entire softball program, all the way down to the AU families, all day on Saturdays. So a huge shout out to Miss Halverson there and Miss Magnine for organizing that wonderful day of an entire softball program helping, and Mark for donating the boulders. So if you have not taken a peek at what that looks like, it looks incredible.
Nice.
I want to shout out to Kirsten Connor, who wrote the grant for the middle school. That came out of a grant that she wrote. And if you don't know, because she's writing grants nonstop.
Yeah.
Like she talked about the food editors, and she got some of the beef grant. She wrote this grant. She's writing grants so often.
Yeah.
We call her the magic typewriter.
She's
she's very into it. So thank you, because it truly takes a village there to get those dollars in. So thanks to the Amery softball team. Very cool. Good community service project for the girls, and blood, sweat, and tears seems to be apropos for girls softball. So
in many instances, it does not make light work; it just makes the work manageable.
That
was still heavy.
Absolutely.
I have a question, and it's related to donations, but it's not related to what you presented. The senior scholarship award night, there were so many scholarships. Do you know what the total was by chance, roughly?
160-some thousand, I think.
It was, yeah.
160,000. That's repeated every year. There's so many of them that repeat every year.
Yeah, some years it's been, yeah, it's an impressive number.
Yeah, so and a lot of that is our local community supporting our kids too, so not directly to the district, but through the district, so thank you for that as well. I would make a motion to accept the donations as presented.
I will second. It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the donations with many thanks to the district as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of accepting the donations to the district, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Thank you for not saying no. Motion passes. The donations to the district are accepted with many thanks. And personnel action.
Okay, new employment contracts for Isaac Christensen as Director of Finance, Elizabeth Volkert, School Psychologist, reassignments, Lily Berkey from regular ed para to special ed para, Gwen Otto from regular ed para to special ed teacher, resignations, Jennifer Chivers as speech language pathologist, Vanessa Mercer, school counselor, retirement of Gerald Johnson as a bus driver, denial of employment position, Juanita Rogney, athletic office assistant, and termination, Misty Wishart, special education para educator.
Is there a motion to approve personnel action as presented?
So moved.
Gwen, is there a second?
Second.
Steve, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept personnel action as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion passed. The board personnel action has been approved as presented. And then moving on to community comments. And Mark Andreen is here to talk on community comments. Again, I just remind everybody to please be respectful and courteous to our speakers and to the board and our staff. And as you know, that the board probably will not engage in communication usually to public comments, but we are here to listen to you. And if there's a follow-up, we would, you've provided your phone number, so we can do that later.
I'm not much of a public speaker. I think I showed that last month. I'd like to introduce myself a little more. I attended Amery schools K through 12. Both my kids went to K through 12 here. I spent 10 years in law enforcement in the city, working with the schools quite a bit, and I'm a disabled combat veteran. I say that to say this. I didn't appreciate last month what he's doing right now, Dr. Derfler, hiding behind his hand, not paying attention to community commenters. When he's looked at and engaged every other speaker tonight and last month. I'd like to go forward and say that I think a forensic audit is a great idea. As a law enforcement officer, there's no better way to prove without a doubt any misconduct by other than a full forensic audit of the district. It's taxpayer funded. funds that need to be accounted for appropriately. I think that the fact that there's 25 fraudulent charges that we know of is very alarming, and I think that there's no better way to get a full forensic audit. Thank you for your time.
Mark, thank you. All right, and that was all we had for community comments this evening. We do not have the reason to go into closed session tonight, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you had a spot to sign in for public speaking. Would I be allowed?
Sure, we can absolutely do that. We haven't taken the motion to close the meeting, so yes, please come to the podium.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for making that accommodation for me. My name is Duke Tucker. I serve as your state representative, which is Polk and Bragg County. And there's roughly 70 different entities where I like to attend meetings. You know, school boards, townships, villages, and so on. And, you know, I want to thank you guys for putting your hat in the ring to serve your community the way you do. I've done the same thing in my local community grants for over many years. But one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about, and you'll have to straighten me out if I'm a little off on this, and I come from a standpoint that the 75th Assembly District includes about 60,000 people, like all the other assembly districts in the state. And the things we deal with down in the state, and I'm very new to politics for people that don't know me well, we deal with everything from school funding formulas, which is terribly unfair. Our schools up here are not funded like every other school district is in the state, and I'll be working on that. But there's many other issues we deal with. Weight boat regulations and, you know, lab-grown meat labeling, all sorts of things that you need to study on and make decisions on. But I will say that one thing that I really, really take seriously is when I receive messages from people, anybody in the district. And I'm happy to share my cell phone number with anyone that's here, meet with anyone at any time, because my job is to listen, much like yours, which you know. But let's say that I've gotten 1,100 calls on an issue representing 60,000 people. I will guarantee you that that's really impactful to me. The wakeboard issue is an example, was one that I got maybe 100 or 200 contacts on. And my understanding is this short-term borrowing is being consolidated into a $5 million loan. My understanding is there's been a petition written with 1,100 signatures on it, or roughly that. That is a really, really big number for one school district. And I just want to weigh in and think, geez, I sure hope that you guys take that quite seriously. I sure do. But the other thing I do take very serious is listening to everyone in the room. And I will tell you, I'm disappointed with the vote last week down in the legislature with, I don't know if many people know about the budget surplus of $2.5 billion. And I thought it was a really, really bipartisan effort. I mean, it really was. The Assembly, which I'm in, there was over 60 votes in favor, which is a really good bipartisan number. The Senate shot it down. That alone would have brought in new spending money for special education over years 25, 26, and 26, 27, about $426,000 into Amery, if that had passed. And also, there would have been property tax relief, which isn't new spending, but at least it would have been local levy of over $500,000 coming up. So there were really some big numbers. Now, I'm going to share with you that, you know, there's quite a number of school districts in the 75th, at least 10, depending on, you know, where people live. The school may not be in the area, but I only had one superintendent, one school board member total contact in regards to what my vote would be or what my thought process was and how I would vote. And that is really disappointing. The governor is, we all know, the past Department of Public Instruction Secretary, and education is big on Governor Evers' list. He fought really, really hard for school funding. Now, does everybody in the state agree with it? No, but that is your wheelhouse. I would have expected a lot more phone calls from school board members and superintendents. And, but nonetheless, I do the very best I can down there. I listen to everyone. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're independent. I don't care if you don't vote. Of course, I'd like you to vote. But everybody deserves representation. And the 1,100 signatures that were gotten, I don't know the story on it exactly. And Char, thank you for taking my phone call here a while back. We spoke, and I really enjoyed listening to what you had to say in regards to some of that. So, but I guess them are my thoughts, and I know it's not a back and forth. If anybody has questions for me, I'm happy to take them. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you for serving.
All right, I'll entertain a motion then again to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying no. Motion adjourned. Thank you.